Welcome back to Instalearn AI. In this video, we'll continue your journey to confidently ace Microsoft Fabric interview questions with clear, practical, and real-world answers you can directly apply in interviews. We'll move step by step through key concepts and real-time scenarios used in modern data engineering projects, so you can build both understanding and confidence. So let's get started. Q31. What is the difference between Dataflow Gen 1 and Dataflow Gen 2? While both use the Power Query Online engine for low-code ETL, they serve entirely different architectural purposes. Dataflow Gen 1, Legacy Power BI, primarily designed to ingest and transform data specifically for Power BI semantic models. The output data is stored inside internal Power BI storage or an attached Azure Data Lake Gen 2 account, and it cannot easily be written back to other database platforms. Dataflow Gen 2, Fabric native, re-engineered for enterprise data warehousing. It introduces data destinations, allowing you to write the transformed data directly into Fabric Lakehouses, warehouses, Azure SQL, or Azure Data Explorer. It also automatically splits computing behind the scenes, using SQL staging and Spark engines to handle big data scales efficiently. Practical example. You use Dataflow Gen 1 if you are building an isolated Power BI dashboard in a legacy workspace. You use Dataflow Gen 2 to connect to a legacy on-premises CRM, clean up null phone numbers, and land that clean data straight into your central Fabric Lakehouse tables folder as a reusable Delta table. Q32. What is the role of Delta Lake in Fabric? Delta Lake is the foundational storage layer of Microsoft Fabric. It is an open-source storage layer that brings reliability to data lakes by adding a file-based transaction log to Parquet tables. Why it's crucial in Fabric? Fabric standardizes on Delta Parquet as its native table format. This means whether you write data using Spark, notebooks, TSQL, warehouses, or low-code, Dataflow's Gen 2, every single engine is writing the exact same Delta file format into OneLake. This eliminates the old need to copy or convert data when passing it between data engineers, data scientists, and business analysts. Practical example. A data engineer runs a Spark notebook to process web telemetry and saves it as a Delta table. Because it is saved as Delta Lake, a business analyst can instantly query that exact same table using standard T-SQL via the Lakehouse SQL endpoint, and a BI developer can build a direct Lake Power BI report on it, with zero data duplication or translation layers. Q33. What are ACID transactions, and how are they achieved in Fabric? ACID stands for atomic, all or nothing changes, consistent, valid data states, isolated, concurrent transactions don't interfere, and durable, survives system crashes. How Fabric achieves this? Fabric achieves ACID compliance through its standardized Delta Lake storage layer. Delta Lake utilizes a JSON-based transaction log folder, _delta_log. Every time data is inserted, updated, or deleted, the transaction log records the exact files added or removed. Practical example. If an automated pipeline is updating 10 million rows in your fact_sales table, and the cluster suddenly loses power halfway through, traditional data lakes would be left corrupted. In Fabric, because of Delta Lake's ACID properties, the incomplete transaction is ignored by the engine. Users querying the table will only see the clean, pre-transaction state until the write finishes entirely. Q34. How does Fabric support RBAC, role-based access control? Fabric implements RBAC at multiple layered boundaries, workspace roles. Fabric provides 4 built-in workspace-level roles: admin, member, contributor, and viewer. These govern who can create, edit, share, or delete Fabric items, like notebooks, pipelines, and warehouses. Item-level permissions. You can share specific individual items, e.g., just one Power BI report or one Lakehouse, with users without adding them to the broader workspace. Data-level security. Within the SQL endpoint or warehouse, you can implement fine-grained row-level security, RLS, and column-level security, CLS, using standard T-SQL commands to restrict data rows based on a user's Entra ID identity. Q35. What is Microsoft Purview, and how does it integrate with Fabric? Microsoft Purview is a comprehensive data governance, risk, and compliance platform. It integrates natively with Fabric as a SaaS layer to provide automated data discovery, data lineage tracking, and sensitivity labeling. Practical example. You apply a highly confidential sensitivity label via Purview to a raw financial SQL database source. When a Fabric data pipeline copies that data into OneLake, Fabric automatically propagates that sensitivity label down through the Lakehouse, into the Spark notebooks, and onto the final Power BI reports. Purview logs the exact end-to-end data lineage, ensuring auditors can trace exactly where a metric on an executive dashboard originated. Q36. What is Fabric's approach to multi-tenancy? Fabric operates at an enterprise tenant level, typically tied to your corporate Microsoft 365 or Azure Entra ID tenant. Within that tenant, multi-tenancy and boundary isolation are managed using capacities and workspaces. Different departments, regional offices, or business units are assigned to isolated workspaces. You can assign separate dedicated Fabric capacities, compute nodes, to specific workspaces. This ensures that a resource-heavy data science workload in the finance workspace cannot steal compute power or slow down operational reporting in the HR workspace. Q37. What is the difference between Synapse Data Science and Synapse Data Engineering in Fabric? While both workloads run on top of the same shared, managed Apache Spark infrastructure and read from OneLake, they are tailored to entirely different professional personas, development goals, and life cycles. Let's understand the difference between Synapse Data Engineering and Synapse Data Science in Microsoft Fabric. Starting with the primary persona, Synapse Data Engineering is mainly used by data engineers, database administrators, and ETL developers. Whereas Synapse Data Science is designed for data scientists, machine learning engineers, and AI researchers. Now looking at the core artifacts, in data engineering, the main components are lakehouses, data pipelines, and Spark job definitions. In data science, the focus shifts toward notebooks, MLflow experiments, and saved machine learning models. Moving to the primary objective. The goal of data engineering is to build the data foundation. This includes data ingestion, data cleaning, orchestration, and implementing the medallion architecture layers, bronze, silver, and gold. On the other hand, data science focuses on extracting business value from data. This includes exploratory data analysis, training machine learning models, tracking hyperparameters, and generating predictions through batch inference. Now let's talk about key frameworks. Data engineering commonly uses PySpark, Spark SQL, Delta Lake optimization, and Scala. While data science uses machine learning frameworks such as scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch, LightGBM, XGBoost, and MLflow. Finally, the primary focus. Data engineering focuses on scalability, throughput, and automation of data systems. Whereas data science focuses on model accuracy, statistical analysis, and predictive insights. In simple terms, data engineering builds and prepares the data platform, while data science uses that prepared data to create intelligent machine learning solutions. Interview tip. When answering this, emphasize that they are complementary, not competitive. A data engineer uses data engineering to build a clean gold layer delta table, which the data scientist then immediately picks up in data science to train a predictive model, without any data movement or file conversion between them. Q38. What is the purpose of Fabric endpoints? Fabric endpoints act as the communication gateways that allow external applications, tools, and users to connect to internal Fabric data items using standard, open protocols. SQL Analytics Endpoint, automatically created for every lakehouse. It provides a read-only SQL connection string, TDS protocol, that allows SQL tools, like SSMS or Azure Data Studio, and analysts to query Delta Lake tables using standard T-SQL. OneLake Endpoint provides an ADLS General 2 compatible storage API endpoint, allowing external tools, like Azure Storage Explorer, Databricks, or custom apps, to read and write files directly to OneLake as if it were a standard Azure storage account. Q39. How does Fabric handle real-time data ingestion? Real-time data ingestion is handled through Synapse Real-Time Intelligence, specifically using event streams and KQL databases. How it works. Event streams acts as a managed messaging hub, similar to Azure Event Hubs or Kafka, that captures sub-second streaming payloads from IoT devices, webhooks, or log files. You can visually filter, transform, or aggregate this data on the fly before routing it directly into a KQL, Custo, database, which is optimized for ultra-fast, index-free querying of high-velocity log and time series data. Q40. What is the difference between Power BI Pro and Microsoft Fabric? Power BI Pro A per-user license focused purely on the business intelligence layer, building reports, sharing dashboards, and consuming semantic models within standard shared capacities. It does not include big data engineering or storage layers. Microsoft Fabric, an all-encompassing, capacity-based SaaS data platform. Power BI is merely the final reporting workload within Fabric. Fabric provides the entire data ecosystem behind the reports. The data lakes, OneLake, data engineering pipelines, Spark clusters, real-time streaming engines, data science model tracking, and enterprise data warehouses. And if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Instalearn AI for more interview preparation content like this.